Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Ahmed, the altcoin era. Now, today we got some bad news. There's a lot of bad news happening, unfortunately. Mantra has fallen off a cliff and it's gone down a whopping 88%. Its market cap was at a whopping 7 billion US dollars and now it's heading to zero. What's happening? We will find out. While I was streaming yesterday, Mantra in literally half an hour to an hour dropped a massive amount. It dropped a whopping 92%. As of now, it's moving sideways. Will it go further downwards? We're going to find out. This reminds me of a little coin called Terra Luna. Terra Luna had the same signs. It went parabolic to a market cap of 40 billion US dollars and never ever came back again. Apparently the founder had no idea. He was away on holiday or away on a work trip to find out that his token has gone down a whopping 91%. Here he is.
And, answer some questions and, share our side of what's going on. So thanks for having me. Obviously not
No
amazing
problem.
circumstances. And let's just dive into it.
Yeah, so just to set the scene for any viewers that don't know the story, the OM token plummeted over the past 24 hours. Obviously, during some low liquidity weekend trading, it went from a $6 billion market cap to around $485 million at its lowest. There have been a number of speculatory rumors floating around X and other social media platforms. Some people called it a straight up rug pull. Other people said it's, down to some trading on centralized exchanges. Can you just tell us from your side what happened from the side of Mantra and how your team has dissected things to this point before we get into some of these allegations that have been made online?
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, I want to categorically deny that this is any sort of rug pull or some sort of scheme. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this if it was. I'm here to face the music and tell our side of the story. And I'll be going on a number of different other AMAs and channels to talk about what's going on. And the team is here. We're committed to being fully transparent. We're going to be putting out detailed reports of everything that went down with on-chain verification and specific details. We've been in contact with our investors. We've been in contact with all major centralized exchanges. We've been in contact even with our regulator that we work with in Dubai with VARA, and our key partners as well. We're not running, we're not hiding, and we'll continue to communicate as much as we can. But maybe just to kind of give the rundown of what happened. So, again, overnight, I was woken up and we had seen this kind of precipitous fall of the token price, as you just described. We were able to see basically that there had been major liquidations on centralized exchange, which we found out later were effectively forced liquidations of leveraged positions that utilized OM as collateral. And I think there's been people pointing towards tokens getting put on exchanges as, this is selling. But in actuality, I think this was being used as collateral to support the position. We have spoken to our core group of investors as well as, who we believe is the third parties that have been involved in this. And we're exploring all actions on how to remedy the situation, and including legal action. But that being said, effectively what happened was there was leveraged positions utilizing OM as collateral with little notice from our understanding. Again, this is just talking to investors and hearing from their side, but little notice and warning. They were able to effectively take over positions, force liquidate them, and cause this massive cascade of selling. So what happened was basically the positions were taken over by the exchange. They then took the collateral, took the OM and started selling, which caused this cascade of sell pressure, forcing more liquidations. Obviously, it was a low liquidity environment overnight on a Sunday evening, in the middle of the night, basically. And, half the team was asleep. So it caused this massive, downward fall in OM price. And yeah, I mean, that's really what caused everything.
2 to 3 days before this massive crash, someone decided to cash out. And they cashed out a whopping 227 million US dollars of OM. There's definitely going to be an investigation happening next. And we're going to find out, is this very similar to Luna. Are we seeing history repeat again? This is the legendary investigator Zach, and he said the two names I keep hearing tied to Mantra incident are Denko, the founder of Reef, and also this individual right over here. They have allegedly been reaching out to a number of people asking for massive loans against their own in the days leading up to the 90% crash. For those unfamiliar, Reef had a similar market manipulation incident in the past before a Binance delisting in October 2024 and an $80 million OTC deal with Alameda in 2021. I hope the perpetrators go to prison, and I hope these people end up in the lowest levels of hell. And commiserations to anyone that was affected. Bitcoin is currently at 85,000 US dollars and is heading to my target of 94,000 US dollars. This isn't going to be straight away. It's going to take some time, ladies and gentlemen. So be patient, because patience is the key. The S&P 500 at the moment is up 1.42%. It's a kangaroo market. We are in a technical bear market, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is about to make an appearance at 3 o'clock, and then he's going to make another appearance at 5 p.m. Will the market react? Will he speak about the stock market? Is this yo-yo kangaroo market still not over? We're going to have to wait and see, because at the moment, these deals have to be made. The VIX has gone down slightly lower compared to last week where it was peak fear. I did say many times, on the time you see it on the mainstream media, on the front pages of your news outlets, that's the time we hit max fear. Ethereum is having a slight bounce, whereas the majority of crypto is slightly making smaller bounces up higher. This is a positive sign for our altcoins. The altcoin season index is currently at 16. This is a good time, objectively speaking, to nibble on some alts, ladies and gentlemen. We normally see altcoin rallies, and altcoin rallies. This is a time, like I said many times on my channel, to start nibbling on some alts. But you don't buy every single alt. No. This is not like 2017. This is not like 2020 anymore. The game is far different. There are a few coins that will outperform Bitcoin. Join our private members to find out more. Solana looks like it's having a small relief, and we're up on the weekly from here to there. We're up by 43%. It's slow moving. The entire market is slowly moving higher and higher as the uncertainty gets less and less. We don't know exactly when, but a deal will be made between the two behemoths, China and the USA. However, the Bank of America has just stated that you should short the S&P 500. What do you think? Here is an American buying Chinese goods from China, even with a whopping 105% tariffs on goods. Check this.
Import steel products from China. Here's my 2 cents on steel tariffs. We make these, and this is the insane part about, why we do and why like all American companies are making stuff in China versus America. In short, I mean, if you want to skip this video, what it's about is Americans are a bunch of babies and they're hard to work with. So we make these boxes, they're self-checkout kiosks in China, manufactured, powder coated, packaged, shipped. This is, I think, well, before shipping, I'm probably $250 into this box. We send this design that we made to, we've been making these for like 6 years, like no problems. And then we send, tariffs got a little scary, so we send the designs to a bunch of companies in America. And all I'm getting are these emails about, well, how many are you going to make? If you're not going to make 500 at a time, we can't work with you. And then maybe they can, they'll say, we'll make it. It's a huge pain in the ass for us, but we'll do it. But then, they want like $1,000 or $1,200, not powder coated, not packaged, not shipped. And like, to give you an example, I mean, we get these custom like styrofoam, pieces that we put that are molded like around, the front of this that, the other piece of styrofoam like fits this perfect. And so they're not powder coating them. They're telling us you got to come get them and take them to a powder coater, and we're not going to help you with that. Or like, so basically with a whole bunch of kicking and screaming, I can get an American company to make this for maybe $1,200, not powder coated, no packaging, no shipping. and I get this for like $250 in China. And then China says, like, how many do you want? You want 5 pieces? You want 100? You want 500? We don't care. And then the biggest thing I'm running into with American companies is that they're coming back and they're just saying, like, well, how are we supposed to make this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I gave you CAD designs. Like, look at the CAD designs. And they're like, but we don't know if, you know, you're not telling us if we should weld this corner on here. And then they're sending me back these pictures of, like, the thing kind of taken apart. And they're like, you need to tell us, like, that you want this corner welded here and then that you want this piece bent and what. And I'm like, I'm not a metal shop, man. We're a software development company. Like, I have no idea what equipment you have and how, if you're going to laser cut a piece first and then you bend it and then you weld it to this other piece. Like, that's not my job. You're the metal shop. That's your job. You should know. I should give you a CAD design. You should know, like, okay, we see what you're doing here. We'll cut it up our own way and we'll make it with the equipment that we have and the know-how that we have. Like, we'll get it done. Because that's, I mean, basically that's the difference. I give this to China and they say no problem. And then 6 weeks later, I have these beautiful boxes in my hands for 1/10 of the price of America. And so even if the tariffs end up being the original 25% tariff plus the 10% that he just added, plus another 25% on steel products, I'm probably still going to make them in China because I don't have to deal with Americans. And on top of all that,
surprise, 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 surprise. They are not going to cut. The only likelihood of them going to cut is in June. There is a 60% chance of them cutting. As of now, the Fed is not coming to the rescue. The only time they start cutting aggressively and introducing QE is when you start to lose your jobs. You right there. You right there. Once you lose your jobs and we see a recession, that's when they step in. We got some liquidity back in the system. Has Donald Trump said something? Has he said something? Don't think so, but liquidity has stepped in. Bitcoin is about to show some strength finally. I'll show you on the 4-hourly chart. We finally broke this. The weekend was terrible. I was trading during this time. It was terrible. We finally got a convincing breakout. So this is good news. Also about to break out. I did send my private members a few possible trades to get into. Join our private members and you could see some good returns. As of now, my target still stands, ladies and gentlemen. I've been saying this for the longest. I was telling you it was going to 94K here. I was telling you it was going to 94K here. I kept on telling you here, everywhere. When everyone was looking at lower prices, when everyone and their pet hamster was telling you we're heading lower to these areas, my friends, we're heading up higher. Now everyone is on the same side as me. Slowly they're heading to the same side as me, which is fearful. I don't want everyone to start believing that we're going to head to 94K now. As the contrarian I am, I might have to pivot, but for now, 94K is where we're heading. Make sure to what? Make sure to like, subscribe. And if you're not subscribed, guys, and you watch my videos, come on, guys, press that subscribe button so I can give you even better alpha and bring on some guests. I'll see you soon. Peace.